opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I am Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. You know what the drill is. It's a Friday, so we are celebrating. We're calling it a TGIF, Open Line Show. That's what we do every Friday here at GPS, and this is an opportunity for you to have your voices heard. We're going to be talking about whatever it is that you want to talk about, the week that was. What are the stories that caught your eye? What are the stories that made you sit up and pay attention? What are you concerned about? What are you angry about? What are you hopeful about? We want to hear all about it on this show today. So at the very top of the show, I've got to throw out the numbers to call: 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0271. Or the second line to call is 326-0272, 326-0272, 326-0272. And of course, we have a WhatsApp line that you can contact us on, 824-9952, 824-9952. One more time, 824-9952. That's the WhatsApp line. So, had a very interesting week. Some stories that would have caught the attention of the whole nation. One of them in particular, highlighting the crime problem that we have in this country. We all know that we have a problem with crime, but it's nothing like when you see a criminal act actually occurring. And this is what we were all witness to as a result of a video that went viral of a gentleman being robbed at gunpoint as he arrived home, just trying to get home, get in his house. And he was accosted by two men wearing masks, carrying weapons. And the video showed very clearly that he had to beg for his life. And it was a very chilling video to watch. And again, I'm going to play it here, and I want to warn that it could be disturbing to some audiences. So if you've got any young children around, you don't want them to watch this. But it was very, very disturbing to see this actually play out in front of our very eyes. Let's go to that clip.
1 minute and 30 seconds of sheer terror that seemed more like a lifetime as a man about to enter his residence faces the barrel of a gun. He's accosted by two men, one in a gray hoodie, the other in all black, both wearing surgical masks, tackling him to the ground in front of his doorsteps. The man pleads with them not to shoot as he directs them to his cell phone, telling them He has no cash.
Please. So don't shoot me. Don't shoot me, sir. Don't shoot me, sir. Don't shoot me, sir. Please. Please. Don't shoot me, sir. Please don't shoot me. You know money there. You know money there, sir. All right.
In the video, the culprits vigorously searches their victim as he pleads with them that his wife and family are in the inside.
Please, my wife inside, please. Oh, Lord. Please. Please. Please, Lord. I don't take that. Please, man. Take it. I can't do that. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Stop on my finger. Did you hear me? Did you hear me, sir?
After more than 30 seconds, the man, seemingly satisfied, proceeds to leave as the man finally is able to enter his home.
If you open the door.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando telling Eyewitness News that police are following significant leads as it appears that the alleged gunmen were also caught on camera allegedly robbing another person last night.
You saw a second photo where they were robbing someone maybe in that same general area and robbing them off a vehicle. So it appears though that whoever responsible could be from right in somewhere in that general area, and they pretty much went on a little spree. And if that person have not came forward as yet, we need them to pretty much come forward to give the police whatever information so we can dot the I and cross the T to connect these individuals.
The Deputy Commissioner says he knows all too well the horror those residents are experiencing as he was shot several years ago during an attempted robbery at his home.
I mean, you know what it is to be looking at the barrel of a gun. I was in that position, so I know how we feel. I was shot at my home the same way how we pull up home. I was shot, so I understand and feel his pain. You know what I mean? I feel his pain. I know exactly what it is. His family was inside, and he pleading for his life. The same situation with myself. When I pulled up home, my family was inside. So that is very disturbing.
He's impressing upon community members to be vigilant.
The Bahamian people to work with the police. When we identify these trends and put it out there, you have to try to follow that. You can't park up on the beach late night. You can't go to the ATM late night. If you're coming home at nighttime, at least try to alert some family members. If you're not comfortable, you suspect somebody is following you, go to the nearest police station within your area. That's why I encourage members of the public to get to know your commander in your area so that you could build that relationship, so that you could reach out at any given time and say, Chief, I need some assistance, or I'm not comfortable. I saw a car was following me. Please, if some officers could escort me home.
The deputy also suggesting making a sound investment in alarm systems that can assist in an investigation.
It's not only the perimeter of your home, but even the roadside view, so that you could maybe see or identify individuals who are approaching and trying to enter your yard. We encourage that to please do that.
Meantime, police investigations into this matter are ongoing.
We are now trying to build that urban renewal and partnership with people within who are able to assist and identify individuals who are involved in crime in our community.
So that report was courtesy of Eyewitness News. I have to tell you, when I saw the video, it really hit home for me because about 40 or so years ago, I too had a gun pointed in my face. And I remember that like it was yesterday. I was only a teenager, and my aunt, the late Patricia Glinton, was small business owner. She ran a fast food restaurant, a chicken shack. And it was late. She had closed up the shop and had just been dropped off at home and was walking into the house. And I had just happened to not long arrived home, and I was watching television, but I had it turned down very, very low. And I heard this screaming outside, and I looked out the window, and there were these guys attacking my aunt. And, you know, it's easy to say what you will do in a particular situation, but you don't know what you're going to do until you're faced with that situation, because she fought these guys, this little woman, and she put up a fight. And these guys were like, you know, fighting her, trying to get this bag out of her hand. And she fought them. And I ran outside, and my cousins, you know, we all were heading for the door at the same time. And when I got outside, I was running towards my aunt. One of the guys, it was a sawed-off shotgun. And he pointed that thing in my face, and he said, where do you think you're going? And I stopped. And they got the bag from my aunt and made good their escape, like the police like to say. No one, as far as I know, was ever brought to justice for that crime. But I remember that like it was yesterday. And back then, crime was not as rampant as it is now. Yeah, you know, police had incidences here and there. But it was nothing near what it is now, where it's like every day. But I watched that video and I felt for that man, because you are helpless when you are faced with a situation like that. And to hear him beg for his life the way he did. And meanwhile, you've got these punks, and yeah, that's what I'm calling them, punks, who feel empowered because they have a weapon in their hand. Now, eliminate the weapon, and I dare say that they can be different people. But use the big hard man because you got gun in your hand. And the sad thing is, they say we're getting feedback. I see what's going on. I think my microphone needed to be closed on my device. The sad thing is that we law-abiding citizens are the ones who are like, we're in jail. Just about every home that you go to has bars on the windows. You know, you all barred up in your house. I remember when I was in college, a friend of mine from the United States came to visit for a holiday, and we had bars. My mother had to make sure there were bars on every single window in our house. And she said, Michelle, why y'all got all these bars on the windows? I said, to keep the bad boys out. And like I said, crime back then wasn't nearly what it is today. But it's like the law-abiding citizens are the ones who are, we really are the ones in prison. And the bad boys running around, robbing people, in some instances, killing people. And you have to wonder whether or not we have this thing backward in this country. Because as opposed to them being afraid, they have the general populace afraid. And something has to be wrong with this picture. Now, I know that there are a group of activists who are saying that it's time that we, even out the playing field, level the playing field, because these boys know they could afford to be as brazen as they are, because they know you ain't packing. They know that. Is that fair? I want to hear from you on this matter, because this is something that we really have to get a hold of if we intend to continue to enjoy, well, the level of prosperity that we once enjoyed in this country. You know, we are a nation that relies heavily on tourism and heavily on tourism. And, when we have incidences like, I don't know if y'all remember the case of where there was a shootout downtown in the midst of a busy day when all the ships were in and tourists in the shops and tourists ducking down. And if we live in like that, bad enough that we're going to expose ourselves to it, but then to expose our visitors to it, who really are providing the bread and butter that you eat, in many instances, is just ludicrous. But this is the Bahamas in which we live, where the bad boys got us in jail. I'd love to hear from you. The telephone numbers to call, 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0271, or 326-0272, 326-0272. And our WhatsApp number to call is 824-9, send us a message, 824-9952, 824-9952. Rose says, good afternoon. These some serious times. Very serious indeed, Rose. Very serious indeed. The question, though, is what are we going to do about it? Because it cannot be right, at least in my mind, that only a handful of it ain't like we have a big part of the population doing this foolishness, handful of boys, just a handful. When you compare the population to the number of people who are doing these things, it's just a handful of them doing foolishness. Why should a handful of young men, for the most part, who are clearly misguided, have an entire nation in fear? And I will tell you this, and the police used to say this to us a long time from when I used to work back in the day as a reporter. They used to say to us from then, if we reported every crime that was occurring in this, especially in New Providence, in this town, y'all wouldn't come out of your house. The police used to tell us that from way back when. He said, if we were to report every single thing that we deal with, y'all would be scared to come out of your house. Imagine now. Imagine now. If that's what they were saying back then, my God. And I know that there's a lot of, we talk about police brutality and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, there's a problem in that area as well. I'm not disputing that. But I want you to imagine what it would be like to live in this town if we did not have the police. Because if these jokers running around town doing the foolishness they're doing with the police, imagine if there was no law. We really wouldn't have come out of our houses. We wouldn't be coming out. So I want to say thanks to the police. And I'm not saying that there aren't bad police out there. Clearly there are. But, for the most part, thank God for them, because imagine what this town would be like without them. It's a scary thought. So Zenobia is suggesting that we start offering rewards for information, and when they are caught, stiffen the penalties for crimes involving guns. Yeah, rewards are good, but here's the thing. If the reward is your only incentive, are you going to wish that there wasn't a reward system when, God forbid, you are the victim? We, I think, are beyond the point of, I only can talk if you give me money, because we are all at risk here. You understand what I'm saying? So to say, and I'm not, offering rewards. So if you see a crime or you know of a crime and you didn't get the reward, you ain't gonna say nothing, then you are putting yourself at risk. Because what is going to happen when your time comes? Are you then going to wish that the reward system wasn't in place? We need to get to the point where we are doing the right thing because it's the right thing. That's just my humble opinion. Okay, so Gleaston says, when good men do not stand for the word of God, then the people are in prison because chaos rules at present. The Bahamas is a pirate nation, corruption from the tree. Look at the fruit. Mega says, yes, you are right. A handful, and the police know all they is, but people know people, they get slap on the wrist. Okay. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there, Mega. Okay. Luis says most get their bodyguard. Okay. Not everybody can afford a bodyguard. That's the problem. We just need more law and order. Another part of our problem is that we have too many people who cloaking these boys who doing wrong, and they know they're doing wrong, but not my good son. Might be good in the house, but he ain't good to the rest of us. So this is, it's a problem that we obviously have to, many layers, many facets to this problem, but we have to arrest this. We no pun intended, we have to arrest this problem. Because when a man is going to have to be begging for his life, my God, what has this society come to? And boy, like I say, he who feels it knows it. And until you have been to the point where you have a weapon pointed in your face, you may be watching that and think, I think a part of the problem is sometimes we become, desensitized. So you're watching it, it's like you're watching a movie. Oh, wow, look at that. But that's somebody's reality. And movie, that's real. But until you would have faced that, you don't know what that feels like. Like I said, my experience was decades ago. And I remember that like that was yesterday. So let's hear from you. 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0271, or 326-0272, 326-0272, 326-0272, and our WhatsApp line, 824-9952, 824-9952. What do we need to do to arrest this crime problem? Because we cannot allow these handful of boys to hold us all hostage, because that's what they're doing. They're holding us hostage. And they running around, I feel for the police, because it's like, in many ways they are, these fellas nowadays, people bringing Uzis into the country, what are supposed to be used for war. That's what they use on the streets now. So in many ways, it's like the police are outgunned. I wouldn't even talk about the civilian who isn't even allowed to carry a gun. And we're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. Is that a caller for the show? Caller, welcome to GPS.
Madam Malcolm.
Hi.
You have me calling your show often.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, you are being very positive. This is why I'm calling your show. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Have you ever thought, sit down from where you sit, your years at ZNS, now you are becoming a senior citizen like myself?
Speak for yourself. I ain't no senior citizen.
Okay, just keep living. At least I make you laugh. Just keep living. Have you ever thought about there is no passion for the traditional family structure like I asked yesterday? Have you ever thought about there is no program to mentor young boys? And as to why? Can you answer that, please?
Why there? You need to turn your radio down because I'm getting feedback. Why there is no passion for mentoring young boys? Why
and the traditional family structure, the message on the traditional family structure. Why?
I think a part of our problem is that we believe we're smarter than God, and so we've just removed ourselves from the traditional values because they quote unquote old fashioned, and the challenge is when you believe that you know better than the creator, you can go your own way, but chances are you're going to end up on the rocks. And when you're trying to navigate your own, you know what I mean? And I think that is a part of the problem that we have as a nation, that we have lost our way. And we are hell bent on not seeking a higher power to help us find the way back. Are you going to ask if there's an attack on the family? Absolutely. Absolutely, without a doubt, because the family is your first, that's your first society. That's the first community in which you learn and in which you are socialized. So if the family structure is broken, then your society is going to be broken because the family structure is the foundation. That's your first society. So if I were the enemy, I would attack the family too. That's good strategy. I don't know if that answers your question.
You did a very good job. I overheard maybe, and I want to apologize before I make a statement.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I overheard of one of your guests yesterday who was pastor said he don't believe in the traditional family.
No, you didn't hear that.
Okay, I did not hear that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's move on. Do you believe it's a conspiracy as to why there's not enough message, like the church on Carmichael Road, with a group of full up with a group of people and claim to have demons and just asking to bring the sower seed and blessings and that, nothing on the traditional family. Do you believe there's a conspiracy in some which way for it's just to fleece the flocks?
A conspiracy to fleece the flock?
Rather than bringing family programs as to what's going on. For what your topic today, these boys come from home. You agree?
Mm-hmm.
I am also a victim, but I can also tell the story. I am a victim. I've been shot. I can tell the story about my father mentor me as a boy.
Mm-hmm.
Many young men cannot tell that story.
Yes, that's true.
You agree?
Yes. Yeah.
He is asking the question, why am I here? I am hitting on the borderline of 70. When crisis comes, sometimes in my life, I then remember my father using the analogy in terms of, boy, the dust will soon settle. Let it wear itself out. You heard that before, right?
I think I'm familiar with the saying.
The dust will settle, meaning this too will pass.
Yeah.
This too will pass. And my mother, I can hear her in my ear. Son, life was never promised a bed of roses.
Mm-hmm.
So we want our boys to bring excellence. And like I used the analogy yesterday, everybody would want their children to have a good education. But if you don't study, you can't pass the exam. I will continue to say, I will say to some of our sisters, I'm going to call out the sisters, you get catch and leave with the boys. The man gone. You get catch and leave with the boys. The man gone. You have to find a lawyer to get your son out of trouble. You normally go on the radio and say, my good son, stop taking your personal business with some of these pastors because many of them are not qualified to help you.
Let me just say this with regard
I am saying that some of them are not qualified to help you. They are not trained. I am saying to you is this, and all they want to do is get off on you and ask you to sow a seed for blessings.
Listen. For many, I shouldn't say many, but for some pastors out there, whether it's in the Bahamas
There's
or
some good
elsewhere, absolutely.
Yes.
Some very good pastors out there. But you do have some for which this is just another form of business, another form of income.
No, me and you on the same income.
Okay, I'm not going to dispute that. But
this is why, Madam Malcolm, the message on the traditional family structure is a non-issue because it's a conspiracy. And these sisters go tell these pastors all of their business and they use it to their advantage. Some of them, my uncle and my two uncles who were pastors, they were not seminary trained. And I say it again, I know about the traditional family structure from a child. I understand what it means and I understand what and who it is.
Right.
And let me tell you something. I was a mischievous child. I used to make circle around my mother. I used to make circle around her after I become a teenager. But trust me, when the king come home, named Vernal Montana McKinsey, I have to report. Let me say this. I'll use this analogy and then I'll hang up. Tom Brady, I love sports. Tom Brady played sports for 44 years. He earned, I think, something like five or 7 rings or 6 rings. And let me tell you where that come from. That come from discipline discipline, and he was properly mentored by his father. Not in all cases, fathers in the home.
Right.
Not in all cases. But discipline is the first order of the day. And trust me, until we get programs in this country to mentor our young men into discipline, many mothers can have to remortgage their house, find ways to get money. They know, find ways to get money because they're going to get on the radio and talk about my good son. And that ain't going away because young men need discipline and mentorship. But my message is still, there's a conspiracy as why we're not getting message on the traditional family. I think it's a conspiracy. Thanks for entertaining me and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much for calling. I just want to encourage all good men out there listening, because just because you're a male don't mean you're a man. That's another show. But all good men out there, I want to encourage you to mentor a young boy, especially one that doesn't have a father figure in the home. And when I say mentor, please don't go abusing people, Sharon. That's why I say good men. Okay? Because the caller is right. We need boys to be mentored. I used to tell my mother all the time, you cannot teach a boy to be a man because you will always come from the female perspective. And don't get me wrong. I know there are a lot of single mothers out there doing their very best to raise their children and doing a fine job at it. But you will always come from a female perspective. He needs a man in his life. A real man. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from activists who say, okay, y'all, we got to level this playing field. It's about time y'all allow us to start back and then see what happened. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Stay with us. This is GPS on a Friday, TGIF, y'all. It's an open line show. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. It's a TGIF open line show where we talk about the week that was and would love to hear from you. The telephone numbers to call 326-0272, 326-0272, 326-0271, 326-0271, or our WhatsApp line, 824-9952, 824-9952. I want to read a couple of messages. This one from a WhatsApp messenger. It says, the government needs to give its citizens a gun license to protect themselves and their family. At least they will have a chance to fight off these lousy criminals. Well, that is the thought of some activists here in the country who are saying exactly that, it's time we even level this playing field now, because these boys got all this courage, quote unquote, because they got gun and they know you ain't got none. However, if that was different, if they knew that there was a strong chance that you too are strapped, would they have so much courage? Would they have so much, would they be so quick to come and rob you if they knew that there's a strong possibility that they can face up with some, firepower themselves? Let's go to that clip where
an average, good, decent citizen who constitute more than 99% of our people. We shouldn't live in fear of our lives.
An impassioned plea being made by business and homeowners led by former Tall Pines MP and businessman Leslie Miller, who say they deserve the right to carry a gun.
Every human being has the right to defend themselves on behalf of their family. The law needs to come into the 21st century, and the problems that we are facing in this country now, with the wide array of armed robberies that is going on, is not fair. You know what it is? I'm to go home, I'm to your house, and a fella is in your garage or on the side of your house with a gun pointing at your head.
This doubled down by community activist Carlos Reed.
We need to have the conversation about leveling the playing field. The reason why a lot of these brothers are not thinking twice about sticking a gun up in a law-abiding citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, because they know you ain't armed. But if they know they got a step right, then chances are, but they ain't coming like that.
Their comments come following a robbery that left a man begging for his life in front of his own home. The chilling video going viral overnight and has resulted in police launching an investigation into the incident.
When I saw that, I was taken back. I don't think that any sensible thinking Bahamian could look at that and don't feel it, because it could have been me.
And I've had that happen to me 3 times in my lifetime in the last 20 years. When we were building Mario's, 2 gentlemen came in Sunboy's paint yard, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and point gun on my head. I give them $22,000. The next time it happened in Sunboy's paints, where I was robbed. And the next time it happened, while I was walking on the Eastern Road, I was robbed. So I know the trauma that the average person goes through when someone has a gun pointing at your head.
And Miller says the current law, which allows business owners to hold rifles, should be amended, as he says it is inadequate.
The problem with the rifle is, if a fella has a handgun, you have a rifle, who knows who this is going to be? This isn't the movies of Clint Eastwood, eh? The fella got the handgun, he can blow you away before you can even attempt to pull the trigger on a rifle.
Reid firing back at critics who say in labeling more Bahamians to hold guns would not be the best decision, and he says not doing that would be even more dangerous.
But only the persons who are against the law, who are not law-abiding citizens, they're the ones who get it. But the law-abiding citizens, what are now being, their lives being put in fear. You listen to that brother on the ground crying? Please don't kill me. You know what that had to take for that brother with his wife listening through the window at him? You know what I mean? You know what that did to him psychologically? Now we need to level the playing field.
Oh boy, what are your thoughts on this? I see where Gleaston says more guns, more shots, and not necessarily the guilty. Remember, we are talking about knowing the truth before you pull that trigger. Trajectory, penetration. These are things needed to know. Let me tell you something, Gleason. When you got that gun pointing in your face, you know one truth. That's the truth you know right there. That gun pointed in your face. Luis says that legislation would need to be implemented. And he also says the government's priority is confused. What are your thoughts? Do you think that, times have changed from the time those laws were written? Do you think it's time for the average citizen to be able to carry weapons? Or do you believe that this will only lead to more deaths? I personally am not a fan of guns, but I can't knock anybody who decides that they want to be able to carry a gun for their own safety, particularly business people, because they're a target. We look to the United States often, and let me tell you, they believe in their right to bear arms. They take that so seriously. I remember some months ago, I attended a weekend retreat with some of the leaders in the health coaching business from the Institute of Holistic Health, and they were mostly Americans. I think I was maybe one of just two or three people who were not American citizens at that retreat. And as we're, sitting around hanging out, they started talking about their right to bear arms. And one of them had brought her son with her to the retreat. And I think he was like 12 years old. And she's talking about, he shot his first gun and how old she was when she shot her first gun. And I looking at them like, wow, this was so foreign to me. And, and they saying this with pride. Oh, I shot my first this and I shot my first that. And finally I spoke up. I said, boy, this is very interesting to listen to. I said, because in my country, citizens aren't allowed to carry guns. And they were like, oh my God, like I could never live there, because it's so much a part of their culture and who they are, the right to bear arms. They take that thing, they take that seriously. Have we come to the point where as citizens, we have the right to bear arms? Do we need to look at changing our constitution to allow for that? Or is your view that no, that's not the answer? We just need to have stiffer penalties or stiffer laws or stiffer whatever. What are your views? Love to hear from you. So Gleaston says, now to the child in the home, securing that gun. See, that's my problem. That's my problem with you talking about keeping the gun in the home. You know how many children are maimed or die because of getting their hands on a gun in the home that they shouldn't have had access to, but somehow they found a gun and end up shooting themselves or somebody else? It's a serious thing. And how do you, as a parent, let's say you're the person who has a gun in the home for protection, and then your toddler ends up killing themselves or a loved one? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with the guilt of that? Now, some would argue that guns don't kill people, people kill people. And so it's only fair to allow a person to be able to defend themselves and their family and their loved ones. And if you don't do nothing wrong, you don't go break it into people else, so you ain't got nothing to worry about. There's some who would argue that. And again, I personally do not, I don't want a gun in my home, but I can understand those who feel that it is something that they need for protection. Because these fellas ain't playing. Gleason says, we showed that comment already. So what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you. 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0271, or 326-0272, 326-0272, 326-0272. This is an open line show, y'all. So that means I'm supposed to be hearing from y'all. That's the point of this show today, to give you an opportunity to get your voices heard. The WhatsApp number, 824-9952, 824-9952. Cleaston says, Cowboys and Indians take on a different message. I shot the sheriff. Clearly, our police are overwhelmed. They can't be everywhere all the time. They can't. It's impossible. So are you, as a result, as a regular citizen, at the mercy of these boys? Now, here's my thing. I truly believe in the power of God to be able to protect us and keep us safe from all harm. But not everybody has that relationship or level of faith to believe that they are protected. So what are your thoughts? I know this is a very, this separates us in many ways in terms of people's views. But I would love to hear from you. So someone sent a WhatsApp message saying, Ms. Malcolm, I'm always amazed at the number of gun smugglers that are being arrested and placed before the courts. The question is, how are the guns and bullets entering the country? If someone has a gun, how are they getting replacement bullets when guns and bullets are not manufactured here? Well, I dare say that some people are making some serious money bringing these guns in. And you would be surprised who those people are. So I think that when we're talking about trying to deal with this scourge, we obviously have to not just focus on the boy on the street who toting the gun, but whoever they getting these guns from, somebody bringing them into the country. How are they coming in? Somebody bringing them into the country. How you could get a whole automatic rifle into this country? How? Somebody bringing these into the country, and it ain't the boys on the street. So when we only focusing on the boys on the street, that's like putting a Band-Aid on a hemorrhage and wondering why it ain't healing. You got to deal with the hemorrhage. Gleaston says, you paying attention to the boats. Yeah, I've heard that. It's possible that some of these fancy yachts are bringing in these weapons. I've heard that. Siobhan says, we have to move past this fear factor in this country. We have criminals running havoc. So like you, I do believe business owners and responsible gun owners should have access to carry a weapon. It is an unbalanced approach. We can implement strict laws with restrictions so that not anyone can carry a gun. The antiquated shotgun limited license needs to be expanded. We have to move forward in a safe and cautious way. And Louise says, as a child, my father had a gun, but it was always empty. He told me and my sister to never play with it. Is that a caller? Caller, welcome to GPS. Hello, caller. Caller, are you
Hello.
there?
Hi, Ms. Malcolm.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes, we're listening.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Okay, I'm great. Thank you. What's your opinion on Lincoln Bain and the cutting down of the land? What's your opinion on that? I like the idea of that.
Lincoln Bain and what?
Because I think it's time with them cutting down crown land and farming and doing their own thing, because a lot of Bahamians, one like me, went and filed application for years. Like every time you go there, they can't find the application, and then they'll tell you do another one, and this has been going on like for years, and no answer from the government or the Department of Land and Survey. And so you're here and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're getting older and older, and then you have other people come into the country and then they go on the land and they build, and then after I think they said 10 to 12 years, then they can, own the land. And Bahamians can't even get an answer doing the proper way in terms of going and filling out application. And I think Bahamians everywhere, all of the Bahamians that file application and trying to do the right thing to obey the law of the land, that has paperwork in and haven't heard from the government, I think everyone should go and cut down property that is crown land and build and farm. Because the government is not hearing our voices when we do application.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what Lincoln Bain and the others are doing is a great thing, and I am encouraging Bahamians to go in with him and do it. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I wasn't familiar that he was actually cutting down ground land, but I understand the concept. Sometimes you have to, I have to be very careful the way I say this, but sometimes it requires civil disobedience to get things done. And, you're right. You have foreigners who come to this country, they squat on land, and the law seems to be in their favor. We see what's happening with the government trying to get rid of the shanty towns in Abaco. And the law doesn't seem to apply to them at the same degree that it applies to those who are trying to do it legally. And sometimes it requires civil disobedience to get things done. Sometimes you got to act like your head ain't too good for people to pay attention, because when you're all nice and good and sweet, sometimes they take you for granted. So again, I was not familiar with what he was doing, but I understand the point behind what he's doing. If he is in fact clearing down,
like myself, like Lincoln said, like all of us, we have our great grandparents, our grandparents. This is all we know, the Bahamas, and so you born and raised there, and I mean, you can't even get a piece of crown land to empower yourself to build a home. It's like myself, I'm speaking because I know I've done many applications. I mean, from I was like 19, 20, like in my 20s now, I'm almost like 60. 10 more years, I'll be like 70. So when am I supposed to get a piece of property to build my house? So we can't wait. We cannot wait. We have to get out there and do it, because the government not listening. I mean, in spite of us doing the right thing, they're not even checking for us as Bahamians. So we need to go there and take matters in our own hands.
Just be willing to face the consequences when you do, because the laws don't seem to apply at the same degree to us as they do to others. So when you decide to do that, just make sure you're ready to face the consequences, because they're going to come down hard on you. And it's just unfortunate
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But then if they're going to come down on me, they have to do something about the shanty town.
Agreed.
Because, I mean, the judge going to tell the government not to touch the shanty town. What is that?
Agreed.
What is that? I mean, what is that? But anyway, Ms. Malcolm, I'll hang up and finish listening if you're going to continue on that, but I'll hang up. But it's not fair to Bahamians at all.
I agree. Thank you so much for calling. I don't know of too many other countries where I could go and just stake claim on land and then say I have a right to be here when I enter the country illegally. I maybe you all know about some other countries where this happened, but y'all need to let me know, because if I go to the United States and I overstay my time and I go try to take up residence and they catch me, deportation without question, and don't try to come back. So we can't do it in nobody else's country. But yet we got these bunch of bleeding hearts around here, and you have to be, no, come on, man. Come on. How is it possible that the same way that they would come down hard on us as Bahamians, they don't seem to be willing or able to do the same to those who are not Bahamian, who are living here, who entered the country illegally. Like, make it make sense. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Miss Malcolm. How you doing today, ma'am?
Excellent. How are you?
Rachel, holding on. What you were saying just now about these poor Haitians?
What did I say? What?
You say so, I was wondering if I did hear you say something about Haitians, poor Haitians or something.
Did you hear me say the word Haitian?
No, I'm asking. I see I'm moving in and out, so I was wondering if you to say something about some Haitians just now.
I did not say Haitian. I said people who come here illegally.
Oh.
That's what I say.
Oh, I thought somebody say poor Haitians, because that's what they like to say. Oh, good afternoon, Miss Malcolm. Miss Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the beginning of your show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that much WhatsApp because my friend Dad used to send me a lot of WhatsApp. So
Okay.
times I would get that would be like old news. But oh boy, I got shot before. No, that's how I lost my sight. 1989.
So sorry to hear
A
that.
robbery,
Yeah.
They tried to take my motorbike from me. They didn't get the bike or nothing, but they sure kept my sight with them. The Lord allowed it to happen. But when I hear that, I feel the pain for that man. I say, oh God, you mean they can kill him?
Yeah, that was tough
I said,
to
Lord,
watch.
they can kill him. I said, Lord, please don't let them kill him. What they can't go say? They can't go say they killed that man. My God, listen, I eat big and please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. And you can hear them little punks, and that's what they is, Michelle. They punks. They ain't nothing but punks. I say that for years. I ain't scared of none of them. I was saying, anyway, I ain't scared of them, and I don't think we should be fair of these punks, man. I know some of you all don't agree with arming law-abiding citizens, us business people. But you see, it ain't just the business people. My God, you go into your house with your home, your family, don't you imagine? You open the door, they go in there, they rape up your family.
Yeah.
They can't find no money. I mean, and so it ruffles your patrol.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even suggest that why they don't go out way to rich people listen to that, because no one deserves that. No one deserves that. People are there saying we can be shooting up one another. We don't need to arm them. The police can't be everywhere. The police was not there for the man.
They can't be.
Even if we catch them, punks them, because you see them, you would see their face on the camera, whatsoever, right? The brother would have done being dead. So I think we need to reconsider, bite this bullet, dread. We might could save our own life and not encourage others to save their life. Because we have no control when these old dirty, these Negroes come to take your life or hurt your family. So we need to reconsider arming law-abiding citizens. Capital punishment. We need capital punishment, man. That's why they're getting away with it. That's why they're doing this to people, because they know they get a good lawyer. And maybe some of the Christian people can say, well, don't hang. But I think somewhere in the Bible say this has happened when we don't enforce the law. These people say there ain't no deterrent, but we won't have to worry about that one no more, because we already purpose neck. Them old dirty dogs, and then they won't come around and tell them, but they robbing to feed their children. That's somebody's father. You make that big grown man sound like a little baby, crying for your life. And you all out there, we ain't got to wait till it happens to have to feel a man pain, Either we, sometimes I say, maybe we hang all of them, we still got a problem. This might be, like Dr. P say, this is a family structure problem. This is the way how you grow up, how you think it's okay to go there and take somebody's things, and even take somebody's life. My God. Then they come in with they want a lawyer, and they won't go back and they won't go in court standing up, but begging for their life or whatever. Stop wasting time, man. We don't need no 4 and 5 years, man. The camera showed us the 2 punks and right there will do the man in. So let's deal with them. Stop wasting time. They don't even need no lawyers. You're talking about fast track. You need to fast track some of these cases. These little dirty punks and what you're killing people, children, killing big man and woman for little change. What you gonna do with a little change that can't even do nothing with them but buy something, maybe hot to eat? That hurt me, that touched me, the man, baby. The tears start coming on. Then when you tell your story with your auntie, it come more. We got to stop playing with these people. They don't look like they don't respect life. They don't even respect themselves. And don't come around you telling us, but all us out here hungry, all us broke, all us need money, all us waiting on some kind of payment. I feel you paying your children out there hungry, but you don't go picking them no gun talking about you going to rob somebody. We need to pop them. We need to break their neck them when we catch them. When we catch them, people say that's violence. So violence. Why you so violent? Why you so? You can't kill this bloodshed. Yeah, but they out there hurting people. We out here like sitting ducks. You either arm yourself or you better pray, ask God to watch you and get your soul ready, because they out there they coming to snuff us out for a little bit of things. God bless you, man. You have a nice weekend. I go finish listening.
Thanks so much for calling. You may not agree with everything that the caller just said, but I don't think anybody could say that they don't understand the passion. because we are under siege. Law-abiding citizens in this country are under siege. And if you think that because you live in a gated community, you safe and good, you can stay behind them gates. You ain't never coming out there. Because if you got to come out to go to the food store or do whatever, boo, that could come to you. You ain't got to go looking for it. It could come to you. This is a collective problem. And I dare say it has to be a collective solution. We're going to talk about that on the other side of the break and anything else that you want to talk about, because guess what, y'all? It's TGIF. It's a Friday open line show. And we'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company, and it's always a pleasure to be with you, especially on a Friday, because every Friday we do an open line show here. We call it TGIF. Thank God. Y'all remember that song? I know I can show my age, right? I mean, y'all know I ain't no spring chicken. Friday. Da, da, da. Thank God it's Friday. Okay, so that's where TGIF came from for all y'all youngins who don't know. So TGIF, it's a Friday, which means it's an open line show, and we're talking about the week that was. Anything that you want to talk about, that's what we're talking about today. The show has been dominated today, though, about this whole situation of crime after that video went viral of the gentleman who was robbed by 2 young people, and was literally begging for his life as they searched him and, begging them not to shoot him. And there are activists who are calling for, they say it's about time we change our laws so that citizens can carry weapons too, because these boys know you ain't packing, so they can come and harden up their mouth and, be all tough because they know you can't do nothing. But maybe, this is what the activists are saying, maybe if they figured that there's a chance that you too, carrying your weapon, they might think twice before they come rolling up on you with the foolishness that they're doing. So here's the thing. Gleason says, you are trying to fix a result, but not the cause. You know what? I maintain this. All these fellas right now who robbing people at gunpoint and breaking into people's house and thing, they were children. And chances are they start doing foolishness from then. The first time the child moved something what didn't belong to them, the parent failed to nip it in the bud. Some of them thought, oh, look how she thinks they can. Look how she, because, children have a way. It's amazing when children learn how to lie. You look at them and you say, my goodness, as young as this child trying to lie to me. Or, they steal some chocolate off the table. They move some chocolate off the table. Their mouth covered with chocolate. Did you move the chocolate? No. You sure you didn't move the chocolate? I didn't move the chocolate, but the chocolate all over their face. Right? And some people say, oh, that's so cute. Listen, that's a seed that is being sown that is going to grow into a tree. You got to nip that in the bud. And plenty of these young people around here who robbing people and things, it was never nipped. And so they graduate from chocolate to armed robbery. That's a part of the problem. The family structure, again, we go back to that, where they weren't taught that it's wrong to take what does not belong to you. And so, they grow up and they continuing and they taking it on the next level. And how many households, nothing is said because you benefiting from what they bring home, what they ain't wait for. This is a part of the problem, that we have people cloaking the wrong. We got to stop. We have to stop. Call it for what it is. And, that's why the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, because you got to train your children. You don't have to teach children to be bad. You need to teach them to be good. And a part of our problem is that nobody's rearing these kids. They just growing like wildflower. And on top of that, growing in some environments in many cases that are not conducive for anybody to be in, much less children. So they become hardened, and just don't care. You think they worry about your life? They don't care, because as far as they're concerned, their life is the pit, so why should they care about yours? We got so much work to do in this country. It's serious. The telephone numbers to call, 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0271, or 326-0272, 326-0272, or the WhatsApp number, 824-9952, 824-9952. And speaking of which, let me check the WhatsApp messages so y'all don't think I'm ignoring y'all. Okay, so this person on WhatsApp says, I am a law-abiding citizen, 20 years of age, and I feel as though plenty of young men are doing all these crimes because they don't have jobs, no type of home training, and they need to turn from their evil and wicked ways and turn to God, because as a young man, sometimes I don't have it, but I work for what I want, and what I can't do, I pray about it. Life ain't easy, but we have to make the best of it. Let me tell you, I know that there is a lot of joblessness out there. I know that there are a lot of people right now living below the poverty line. But many of those people aren't going out robbing people with guns. So there's really no excuse for that. And, sometimes it just takes, how should I put this? Sometimes adversity brings out the creativity in you. And unfortunately, many of our young people are taking what should be directed for positive creative energy, and they're directing that to the negative. So they're getting creative in how to rob you. They're getting creative in how to better their circumstances by, it's a scary place to be, but that's where we are. Siobhan says on Facebook, before I go, can you consider having a part 2 series on the marital rape law? The pastors were great. I caught the after show. Consider including females on the next panel. It clearly showed it's a highly sensitive topic and many folks lack full understanding of what it entails. Sure, I'll consider it. Siobhan also says, I pray sometime soon we Bahamians stop being reactive instead proactive. Why someone has to be robbed at gunpoint? Why someone have to be robbed to get gun reform laws? Why do women have to be marred, scarred, killed before we get tighter laws against domestic violence? Why a little child have to be beaten to death for us to act? It is sickening. And Gleaston says, is there anything too hard for God? So here's the thing. For us to really turn the situation around, it's got to be a collective effort. It can't be where everybody pointing finger at the next one and saying, look what you ain't doing, when you aren't willing to, get your hands dirty and get in on the fight. So, this one pointing fingers at the church saying the church ain't doing its job. And then this one pointing fingers at the school system saying the educational system is failing. And the next one pointing fingers at the family saying that, there's no family structure has been disintegrated. And the next one pointing, I could go on and on and on. Everybody pointing finger at somebody else. But how many of us are willing to get in the trenches and try to do something to help people? How many of us? We got to get to the point where we realize that whether or not we like it, this is affecting all of us, not only a certain few. Because like I say, you could be living behind the gates, but you got to eventually come from behind those gates. And what happens then? So Gleason is asking the question, it has to be prioritized. What's first? Well, maybe we should take a model doing what's first. Everybody do their part. You work on this, I work on that. And then together, it all comes together and it makes one big whole. So, we have to focus on the family structure. Clearly, that is a very important part of this conversation. We got to fix that. But that also means that the church has to be more active, more effective. Let me put it that way. Because many churches are out there working. They just don't publicize it, but that doesn't mean that they're not working. But we need the church to be more effective in communicating the message of the gospel in these modern times and getting people to understand why they should see it as something attractive. Because a lot of people don't even think, a lot of people are like, they look at you weird when you say, God is good. They look at you like, what? You believe in God? Yeah, I do. But how did we get to this place where, as a nation, so many of us don't believe in a higher power? How? Because we have been beaten down so much by society and the difficulties of life that we tend to think, well, if there is a God, when I say we, people tend to think, if there is a God, what is he doing? But not realizing that we talked about it on one of the shows earlier here on GPS, that God is not going to violate his own word and his own will. And if he gave you dominion over the earth, he's not going to take that dominion back. You know what amazes me? Like in the United States, right? Remember, they had this whole movement about removing prayer from the schools, and they were very successful in doing that. And then you started having all of these massacres in the schools, and the first thing they ask is, well, where is God in all of this? Those of you who believe in God, where is God in all of this? Listen, if you run me, why you expect me to be there? If you tell me, get from around here, I don't want you here, and I go, why you expect me to be there when something go wrong? You run, you kick him out. So why are you asking where he is? You know, and we got to be careful in this country that we're not guilty of the same thing. There's some people who don't want to hear nothing about God. But when something goes wrong, the first thing they say is, well, what kind of God would allow this to happen? The same kind that gave you dominion. The same kind. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You know? So, would love to hear from you. 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0271, or 326-0272, 326-0272, 326-0272, and our WhatsApp line, 824-9952, 824-9952 is the WhatsApp line to call. So that's just one story that that made headlines this week. Another one, and it's sort of related, and as it relates to the problem of violence in this country, is that video that went public of these girls beating up on this one girl, and the mother came to the media to complain about it, to say the school didn't do enough, and she claims when she went to the police to complain, she got arrested. And we have a serious problem with violence in this country. Because, you know, every time we see one of those videos with these students acting out, we get all alarmed. But it keeps happening. And like that mother pointed out, that could have ended in death. And that's not being alarmist. That has happened in this country. More than once. So again, how have we come to the place where not only do you see this thing going on, but nowadays, as opposed to trying to stop a problem from happening, everybody has become mini movie directors, and everybody just recorded it on their phone and laughing, and this is entertainment? How have we come to the point where watching somebody get beaten up is entertainment? What is going on in this country, y'all? As opposed to going to get help. If you say, well, I don't want to get mixed up in it because I might get beat up. How about you call somebody? No, I'm too busy recording this because I can watch this back later on for entertainment. That's where we are. Scary. Scary place to be, but this is where we are. Where you rather record something and everybody's standing around laughing like it's a big joke that this girl is getting beaten up to a pulp. How have we gotten to this place? Is that a caller for the show? Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hello.
Hi.
Miss Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just listening to you speaking about violence and religion and God and no God and all that stuff. Here are two paradoxes.
Okay.
The countries that are most religious are the ones with the most violence. In fact, you would find in a lot of countries where people have either stopped going to church or never went to church, their crime rate is significantly lower than in countries where people go to church. Countries like Japan, where they don't even practice Christianity, if they have 2 murders a year among their millions of people, they have a lot.
Do you know what one of the big differences is with that country? Discipline. The Japanese are very disciplined people.
Yeah, but if our religion isn't sufficient to help us become disciplined, then we might as well get rid of that religion.
Say that
Obviously, the religion isn't working.
Well, see, here's the thing. I believe that there's a big difference between religion and relationship. They have religion. The Japanese have religion. I believe there's a big difference between religion and relationship.
But I really want you to compare countries that are physically religious countries to those that are not, and look at crime rates. Look at how people care for each other in those societies where they tend not to be as religious. The people tend to be more civilized. They tend to seemingly care more. It's just a natural fact.
So are you blaming religion for teaching people how not to care?
In some senses, yes. A lot of the religions we practice are very violent. It's hateful. It's spiteful, and in a lot of ways, it passed those practices on to the people who believe in them.
Well, I go back to what I said. There's a big difference between religion and relationship.
Okay, let's be specific. Christianity is violent. Islam is violent. All those religions are violent. And even they said God himself is jealous and an angry God. So it is what it is. Right?
Again, I go back to what I said, that there's a difference between religion and I hear where you're trying to go with this.
I know.
But that is to say that everybody who is a Christian is violent, or everybody who is a Buddhist or Islamic is violent. That's not so.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying.
No, my point is if you paint a brush to say that religion is the cause of people being violent, then that's just then everybody in that religion should be violent.
Not necessarily so, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is countries where they tend not to be so religious.
I hear you.
Their societies tend to be better ordered. The people seem to be better civilized. The people seem to be better behaved, and they have less violence.
But is that because of a lack of religion, or is that because of something else?
I think you could. I think we could draw a straight line to the fact that they have either moved away from their religion, or they're not, for whatever reason, they're not practicing it. Because in some cases, if you do a study, you would find when they were religious, that's when they had a lot of the wars and a lot of the violence. That's the first thing I called you for. The second thing is this little war that's going on in the Ukraine. How is it? I find it strange that in the midst of being bombed and plummeted and pillaged, the people in the Ukraine, they practicing racism. I don't understand it.
The people in the Ukraine or the people in the surrounding nations around the Ukraine?
No, the Ukrainians are not allowing the Negroes to leave the country.
Yeah.
And throwing them off the bus and the train and tossing them off the wall and beating them with clubs.
Well, not only in Ukraine, but some of the surrounding countries as well.
Well, you know, if the ones who are being bombed practicing racism in the midst of a war, I could only imagine those who are not under that kind of pressure.
Somebody sent me a forward with comments that were made by news agencies around the world. I come into that other caller right now, and showing the racism as it relates to this. The BBC, they said it's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed. That is a statement that has been attributed to Ukraine's deputy chief prosecutor. CBS News, this isn't Iraq or Afghanistan. This is a relatively civilized, relatively European city. CBS foreign correspondent Charlie Diagata, that is being attributed to. Even Al Jazeera, said, what's compelling is looking at them the way they are dressed. These are prosperous middle-class people. These are not obviously refugees trying to get away from the Middle East or North Africa. They look like any European family that you'd live. Listen, racism is real and alive.
And Ms. Malcolm, I'll put it to you this way, and I'm going to rave on this. If you check world history, tell me how many black countries went beyond their borders to conquer somebody else's land.
To do what?
It's to conquer somebody else's land or country.
Okay.
It's not our nature We don't go to conquer and pillage and take over. Check history out. Look at who's always starting these wars. We don't start wars. We might fight among ourselves, but we're not going to leave our boundaries, jump on airplanes and aircrafts, and say, let's go take over Jamaica, just for the hell of it. Or they have something we want.
So listen,
it's always the Europeans.
I hear you. I have another call on the line.
Okay, have a good day.
Thanks for calling. All right, caller, welcome to GPS.
Miss Malcolm.
Uh-huh.
Two more things what was in the news this week, where the American embassy, I think they call him the Charge Affairs person, like ambassador for America, suggestion, or I listened to the news sound like someone is suggesting that we should make a statement as a country, like if we like to how do you say it, to say something against what the president of Russia is doing to the next country, and sound like the Caribbean. I believe our prime minister is the leader, CARICOM now, or will be the leader soon. And I think he mentioned on the news, paraphrasing, that the Caribbean is like they discussing what they can come back as a group or a body to say if they disagree or if they siding with America. We depend on America for a lot of things. I remember in the former administration with Dr. Minnis as prime minister, I think Venezuela was doing something over there, and I believe it was a group of those prime ministers on the Caribbean went over there to visit. I think it was Trump was the president, and they did side with what Trump was saying against what Venezuela was doing. And I feel then like we should have stayed with their business, because it could have been us, although they say he was doing wrong to people. Then the next thing is that BPL sound like they was going to say they could raise our light bill soon. They have to go up on the light bill. But I think Prime Minister Davis or the cabinet made a statement on that. I just did want to suggest to them that we should try this thing. What I hear some people talking about for many years in the country, the solar system, knowing that we get so much sun here, to help out with this light bill. Because every year you hear, different governments, they need $300 million to buy a next generator to do this plan and all that. If LNG and solar could help us, I think we need to go in that direction. Ms. Malcolm, I wanted to know if you agree with capital punishment or corporal punishment. You was reading something or saying something about the fight in the school. And I don't know if you have the paper still or you heard the news where the minister responded, the Minister of Education. You have the reading there where she responded to it?
I'm familiar.
Well, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I asked you if you believe in corporal punishment and capital, but we're really talking about corporal now. I don't know if you get spanked when you was growing up for anything, if you had to ever get spanked or school or anything.
I did.
You did? Mm-hmm. I did also. Do you think it's wrong for us to be, I don't want to use the word hitting or beating, spanking our children? Because when I listen to the minister on the news, correct me if I'm wrong, is she saying that her personal view, is she against hitting, like she consider all of that as violence? But these children, how do we deal with them? If we put them out of school, we can lose a generation. We're not being able to educate them, right? But how do we keep them around? The children, children who they are trying to do it the right way, parents involved with their children being a part. But you get these children, them coming from, I don't know where they come from, dealing with situation in a bad way. How do you think we deal with them? You think we should continue to do, because I believe some schools, or I believe the country, agree with corporal punishment?
Here's
you
the
agree
thing.
with it?
When you're talking about kids that age, corporal punishment ain't gonna make no difference to them.
So put them out of school?
I'm not saying you got to put them out of school, but we got to find another way to deal with it, because you hitting that child on their hand when they that age.
No, hand is no, you get
hand behind wherever you hitting them for corporal punishment, right? When that child is at that age, that for instance what we saw in the video, corporal punishment ain't gonna make no difference to them.
Some of their parents need corporal punishment.
We have to find more creative ways to deal with this, because corporal punishment at that point ain't gonna make no difference to them.
I I don't know. I hear what you say. I will agree to disagree. Like corporal punishment and capital punishment when you do wrong or you do something like in that way. I
I'm
agree
not
with
saying
that.
that they should not be disciplined. They should be disciplined.
Yes, okay, yeah, discipline.
But my point is, corporal punishment is not, after you get to a certain age, that is not effective anymore.
And it's not too much sound like it's not acceptable. But you know, what about them parents them who come there? All of the parents them, they I don't want to use the word civilized, but they ain't thinking straight when someone hurt their children. And although you're saying that at that age it's too big to implement corporal punishment on them, but the parents them is one hold them themselves. The parents just want put hands on them children themselves.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we need to need to do something.
We just have to find, I think, even with in some cases younger children. And listen, I was spanked when I was a kid. You know,
you were?
Yeah, man.
You get the bell too?
I take my share.
You ain't never get a time and switch, right?
What? You gotta be joking. I always used to tell my mother, I said, you know, if you all try some of the things that y'all was doing when we were small, you'll get locked up for child abuse. Because you know, when you get beaten with time and switch, I can leave the little belt on your legs.
But look how you turn out today. A decent person.
Yeah,
it ain't
you
kill
know.
You?
No, it didn't kill me. Didn't make me a bad person. It didn't make me hateful. Didn't make me hate my mother or anything like that.
It kept you in check. But check this out. You know, I hear you talk about a lot of stuff you want to bring on soon and talk about and come off right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's find out if it's true. Now, for many years, you hear young people on drugs and using drugs. We go in to consider passing legislation to either legalize medical marijuana for adult use or legalize it, right? I hearing that plenty of these kids them was in school, and this is not just the little boys, the little girls, they acting out not just because of the environment they come from or the home. I'm just asking a question. I'm not to find out if there's any truth. It's a big possibility. They saying these little children them they ain't smoking weed or smoking dope. They're using these ecstasy pills, and that is make them carry on like a monkey in a zoo or a monkey in a cage. They don't respect when they take that. I understand the little children in the junior high school. I don't know who big person.
Well, we see the problem that we have with kids now in the schools getting their hands on these gummies, you know, laden with marijuana, and sending kids to the hospital and stuff.
Marijuana is a joke. The ecstasy more dangerous. Yeah. But let's give someone else a chance. Keep up the good voice again.
Thanks so much for calling. You know, talking about discipline, you know, the generation that we grew up in, yeah, man, I take my last beating I get was 15 years old, and I earned that. I could tell you all what he fought, tear up my hip for when I was 15. It was worth it, though. We're going to be back after these words from our sponsors. This is GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Welcome back to GPS on this TGIF. It's an open line show today, and we're talking about the week that was. Our telephone lines 3260271, 3260271, or 3260272, 3260272. And our WhatsApp line is 8249952. And speaking of WhatsApp, someone says on WhatsApp, good day. The same way how many institutions money goes missing and the heads of certain departments are not held accountable. In some cases, they're just moved to a different ministry. It needs to be stomped out too at the top. Even with some of our political leaders, there is misappropriation of funds, and there's no accountability. Many new homes coming in a few thousand and exiting with a few million. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS. You need
Good
to
afternoon.
turn your radio down, please. We're getting feedback.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Good day, Mr. Harlan, Miss Michelle Malcolm.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
You sound energetic on the air.
Okay.
I was listening to a show you did a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, concerning like women like accusing their husband of raping them, but I'm not gonna divert from what you dealing with today.
Mm-hmm.
But this what and through your previous callers, in fact, the one before Papa, he was talking about this like Christian nations and Muslim nations being the most violent. But this is what I want to make clear. I want to make this clear.
Mm-hmm.
As it relates to the Bahamas. See this Bahamas? So London, Oscar, Penguin, other folks, and the rest, all of them, other Mr. Hanna, all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They established this nation as a Christian nation. You know what I mean? In fact, our laws supposed to be orchestrated from the Bible, construed from the Bible Christian principle. And this what I like about this nation being a Christian nation, and our values, our standard is spiritual. Because when you saw, I don't know, I was like very, very small then. But we know that the Reverend R.E. Cooper and Mr. the Bell Baptist, W.V. Brown, and all of them. And I must say too, it continued even after Penguin, even when Hubert Ingram came in power. We had Timothy Stewart, Bishop Timothy Stewart, and we had Pastor Miles Monroe, who continued to build on the foundation according to this nation. So my point is that we can't allow the international community to push us away from the coming of the Lord. Because Nelson Mandela, when he been over here in the Bahamas, he said, y'all, and call us in the Bahamas, and the clip in 1993, September, he said, y'all are a peculiar people. Y'all are different. Y'all supposed to lead the black nations.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to do our best to be an example for Africa. And we see what's going on in Ukraine, and we see the discrimination, the racism I heard you spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
But as for us now, we ain't crying no more as black people. I know black people, they say black matters, but we know we matter. So we ain't begging nobody or trying to say don't discriminate against me. If you discriminate against me, I discriminate against you. If you think you're superior, I think I'm superior. And as simple as that. I appreciate the fact that you allow me to make my contribution.
All right. Thank you so much for calling.
All right.
I just want to say this, in reference to that caller that was talking about nations that don't have religion and all this kind of stuff. It really boils down to the human heart. Because you could be someone who has no religion at all and have a dark heart. And you could be somebody who is religious and has a dark heart. Again, I go back to the statement that it's all about the relationship and not the religion. I think that, we tend to, especially with Christianity, you're supposed to be a Christian and you're doing this and you're doing the next. Not everybody who says, the Bible tells you not everybody who says, Lord, Lord, will make it in, because a lot of people are not, they don't have a relationship. They're going through the rituals of the religion, but they don't have a true relationship. Because if you had a true relationship, then the quality of your heart would be in a different place. So our problem isn't religion. Our problem is the heart of mankind, because it's not religion that makes your heart pure or impure. And so I think it's a falsehood to say that, they are, don't have problems because they're not religious. No. And I'm not disputing that. Religion has been used to do some horrific things throughout history, for sure. But it goes back to the question of the human heart. So Gleaston says, where God is represented, there is things change. So Louise is laughing. She says, Michelle Beaton didn't kill you. Looking beautiful. Nice show. Thanks, Louise. So let me tell you all this quick joke, and then we can talk about BPL. All right. So it's not a joke. But anyway, my last disciplinary action from my mother came at the age of 15. My 15th birthday, as a matter of fact. And what happened was, the church that I attended at that time was a Catholic church right across the street from where I was sort of attending two churches, because I grew up in my uncle's church on Hospital Lane. But when I became a teenager, I started attending the Catholic church across the street from where I grew up. They had they had a very vibrant youth department. And so I used to, spend some Sundays going to the Catholic church to hang out with the young people. And then I would spend some Sundays going to my uncle's church. So I pretty much attended both. And the youth department at that time, they had this like an outing where, I got permission to go out with the youth department. And we were supposed to, go to some fun evening event and then come back home at a decent hour. Well, anyway, I was the ringleader. I ain't gonna lie, because every time they were like, okay, it's time to go home, I kept saying, no, just one more dance, because we ended up going to a couple of clubs, discos, right? And I just kept saying, no, just one more. And it was something like 2:00 in the morning when we finally decided it was time to go home. And my attitude was, listen, I know I can get beaten when I go home, so I can have a good time now. So I had myself a fine time. And sure enough, when I finally got home, my mother was waiting at the door. There was this club back in the day called the Backside. So when I walked through the door, she was livid. Where you just coming from? And I was always how would I describe myself? Always a biggody little, so I, as defiant as I could be, when she asked, where you just coming from this hour in the morning? I see the Backside. She said, yeah, and I got damn your Backside now. And my attitude was, you knew who I was with. I don't drive. What would you expect me to do if they weren't ready to come home? I don't drive. She wasn't hearing it. And she let me have it. And I remember my grandmother was also up, because clearly they were very worried about me. I ain't calling nobody. And 2:00 in the morning, I only 15. And boy, when she started wailing on me, my grandmother was like, you're too stupid, run. But I was always I wasn't running. I just stood there and took it. But boy, I had fun. So yeah, I earned that one. And that was the last time my mother had to discipline me in that way. Louise say, yeah, you're right to get cut if you deserve 3 days. No, I earned that one. I ain't gonna lie. I earned that. But Perlene say, I remember the Backside. What? Backside, Pastiche, La Pon, all of them. I used to party, y'all. I used to party, okay? I was at what? But yeah, my mother wasn't trying to hear that. At 15, you just coming to this house 2:00 in the morning? No, I could deal with you. But I knew I was going to get it. So I kept saying, listen, man, I know when I go home, she could tear me up. So let me enjoy myself now. And boy, did I have a good time that night. Yeah. That's my getting. That's the last time my mother had an opportunity to discipline me in that way. But the thing is this. Pearline says, "Good old days." The thing is this. You have to, if you are raising your children, you have to get to the point where you are going to, if you're raising them right, you get to the point where you have to trust that they will do the right thing or know what is the right thing to do and trust them to do it. I remember when I went off to university, I was very young. I was only 17 when I went off to university. And my mother was very strict on us, and here it is. I went off to university all the way to New Jersey. No mother there to tell me when to go and when to come and all this kind of stuff. And I remember the first Christmas I came home, the first Christmas break, I was getting ready to go partying. And she was like, "Where do you think you're going?" I said, "Going out." "What do you mean you're going out?" She tried to put law on me. I said, Mommy. Let's think about this for a minute. For the last 3-4 months, however long a semester is, you didn't know where I was. You didn't know who I was with. You didn't know when I gone, and you ain't know when I come in. How much sense it make for you at this point to tell me I can't go out? That make any sense to you? Think about this now. So she was like, "Just don't come home too late." Because she realized at that point that game over. When I in New Jersey, you ain't nowhere around to tell me what I can do and what I can't do. So what sense it make for you to tell me that now? So anyway, that's my story. Okay. So let's talk about BPL we only have 11 minutes left in the show, but there was some kind of mix-up apparently, because BPL issued a statement talking about bills going up, and everybody was like, "Y'all got to be crazy. Are y'all serious? Do you not see the environment in which we live?" And then all of a sudden, the Prime Minister dialed it back. So who messed up there? Who dropped the ball? Who didn't know that this had to get cabinet approval? Like what happened? What somebody could explain what happened to me, please? I need to understand what that all about. Let's go to the clip.
My government will do its endeavor best to ensure that the rise in gas prices around the world will not have a deleterious effect on our people. God knows that our people could least afford to have more taxes or more costs visited upon their backs. And my government will do all in its power to see how we could avert raising the cost of electricity on our people. And as soon as I'm back to Bahamas, we will be sitting down to brainstorm to see how we can best do that. Perfect.
All right. I just want to know where what happened, how. Okay, somebody need to explain that to me, please. Like how you could issue a whole statement and there has been no consultation, or was there consultation and then they just decide to dial it back after there was all this uproar? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Wendy says, "It's always a little leak, then months later the bills will go up." Well, maybe they just was trying to prepare us for what is inevitable. But how do you make a whole statement and then the government got to pull it back and say, "Well, no, this wasn't what's going on?" Somebody need to help me understand what happened there. It's like they ain't on the same page. And I don't know. Something didn't seem. I need somebody to explain to me what went down in that instance, because yeah, I don't know what happened there. The telephone lines to call 3260271. We have about 9 minutes left in the show. 3260271, 3260271, or 3260272. 3260272, and the WhatsApp number is 824-9952. 824-9952 is the WhatsApp number. So Louise says, I had some wonderful disco hopping days myself. back then, man, clubbing was fun. It was different than it is now, for sure. Um, Rose says, Michelle, you was a little rebel. I wasn't a rebel. I just, used to reason. I all the way in New Jersey enjoyed what I do. You talk about I can't go out. You got to be joking. And God bless her soul. My mother was like, okay, you're making sense. Just don't stay out too late. It is what it is. We have a caller on the line? Yes. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Michelle.
Hello.
First time caller.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Good. Great. Michelle, there's a song for that last night that you partied when you at the age of 15,
Uh-huh.
and it is called Make This a Night to Remember. You remember that? You remember that, right?
I do.
Yes. But the good thing was that when your mom beat you, that you didn't run because, first thing in the morning, the beating continued, right?
Listen, I never used to run. I was even younger than that. I wouldn't run. I could stand there and I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of even seeing a tear fall out of my eye. Man, you won't cry bad.
Well, listen, that was a good thing because that was a good thing because had you had run, that beating continued the first thing that morning.
It would have get worse.
Normally they would wake you up on the bed, with the belt.
It would have get worse. It would have get worse.
Yes. So you did the right thing. But the song is called Make This a Night to Remember.
Oh, that was a night to remember in more ways than one.
That's right. So you still remember that. Yeah. Okay, have a good day.
Thank you for calling. Thank you. My mother, she didn't do a lot of beating. She really didn't, right? But boy, when she did, she made it count. But I was sort of a mischievous. There was this one. I was a very skinny kid, right? Always very, very tiny, very, very skinny. So with my grandmother in particular, I used to get away with stuff because she was scared to beat me because she figured I was too skinny, right? Whenever I got beaten, I earned that. Trust me, I used to earn my beatings. So with my grandmother, let me tell you what I did. I was so wrong. Oh Lord. So my grandmother, she used to make tarts for sale. My grandmother, oh my God, that woman was such an incredible cook. And she used to make coconut and pineapple tarts for sale. So this one day she's in the kitchen, she's kneading the dough for her tart. And so I sneak up behind her with this plastic spider. So I put it on the counter, but she was so busy kneading this dough, she didn't see it. So I say, well, the woman even didn't see the spider. So I gently took the spider up from the counter and I put it on her arm. And when the woman looked down and saw that spider, all you could see was flour flying through the air. She's like, oh my God. And I was kind of stupid because I should have ran right away, but I stood there laughing. Oh, look here, that woman come from back here. And as I turned to run, her hand did catch my back. And she said to me, this little, you're lucky you're so skinny, I'd have killed you the other day. But even the one lick I got, it hurt like hell. But I laughed through that because it was so funny to see that flour flying through the air. So, when I got disciplined like that, it's not just for nothing. I used to earn my beating. Little children, I'm not encouraging you to do that foolishness, okay? Because nowadays, no, you ain't want to do that. Be a good child and be obedient and, but I don't think I turned out too bad. Like I said, my mother, she didn't do a lot of that. Now, my Aunt Pat, the same one who I tell you I'll get robbed that night. My Aunt Pat used to beat with fly swatter, so she ain't gonna leave no ridge on your leg and she ain't gonna leave no marks. But boy, you gonna remember that fly swatter. It used to sting. But again, whenever we got disciplined, it wasn't, they didn't believe. And there's a big difference between disciplining a child that way and abuse. And I think a part of the problem today is that people go to the point of abuse. I hear them say all the time, oh, it's going to damage that child's psyche. I don't think my psyche was damaged in any which way. Right? But nowadays they've taken this to the point of abusing these children. And I don't agree with that at all. at all. What some children are suffering at the hands of the adults in their lives right now is wrong, plain and simple. And I think a part of the reason why we have so much violence in our communities because we teach in violence. You know, some of these kids, the homes that they growing up in, the neighborhoods that they growing up in, man, look here. The household that I grew up in, whether it was my Aunt Pat's house or my mother's house, there was love. I knew that I was loved. No question about it. So I think that is a part of what is missing now. These kids are being neglected and abused, whether verbally or physically or sexually even. And there is very little love. And it's like we're creating this perfect storm for violence and anger. And as Dr. David Allen talks about it a lot, shame and lashing out because of that shame. So even though, I told a lot of jokes here today, I am in no way encouraging anyone to abuse the child in their life because children are just a precious gift that need to be loved and nurtured. And I was loved. Don't get it twisted. So, yeah. That's my time. My producer is playing music, so he's trying to tell me something. It's time to get off the air because we have another show coming up at 4 o'clock. So I'm Michelle Malcolm. It's been a pleasure, y'all. Thank you so much for being my co-host today on GPS. And have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
This is 99.5 Global FM.